Hello, my name is Oksana Yurchenko. I am a 40-year student in Griffith College studying interior architecture. At the moment I am working on my final project, and the swimming pool in Sean McDermott Street is a part of it. In this research I'm going to provide a visual and oral record of an interview with a person who can serve to illustrate an aspect of my building design and function. Philip White is acting leisure services manager in Bademont Sports and Fitness Center. Before he worked at Sean McDermott Street swimming pool since it was built up to the year 2004. This person can proudly call himself an expert of Sean McDermott Street swimming pool. In this interview, Philip White tells us about history, design and structure of the building. Also he will mention a responsive community on the swimming pool when it was built and his own role in life of Sean McDermott Street swimming pool.
I'll give you a little bit of a lead up into the history of it, why it ended up there. The City Council, as it was in them days, was Dublin Corporation, operated certain swimming pools in the city. There was two very old swimming pools and baths. You could go for a bath, have a hot bath in the old Tara Street swimming pool and the Ivy, where you could actually walk in and pay and have a bath, sit down and have a bath and things like that. They operated that as part of sanitary services in the city. Then when they moved from that type of thing, they built swimming pools in Ballyfermot, Finglas, Crumlin, Coolock, and then later on Rathmines and Sean McDermott Street. And Sean McDermott Street and Rathmines were both opened on the 1st of June 1977. And Dublin City was very, very different in them days. There was a lot of tenement houses in that part of Dublin City, in Sean McDermott Street, in that general catchment area. It was nearly all flats, blocks of flats and tenements, and there was very little places, very few of them had somewhere to get washed and showered and things like that. Like showers are quite unusual in homes.
I heard that the swimming pools probably was only the place that people can
exactly that. Yeah. And Sean McDermott Street in particular was in what you would, and I don't want to be cruel here because there were lovely people to work with. It was in the heart of a socially deprived area. There was little or no services in Sean McDermott Street. It had its problems with criminality and drugs and things. Vandalism was big. Drugs weren't such a problem in the 70s as they became in the 80s and things like that, but you had a lot of social depravity in Sean McDermott Street.
That's probably why there is no windows.
That's one of the reasons why there's no windows in it, yes. Yeah. So it was put there, it was built on that site because the Catholic Church at the time owned that site. They donated the site, and then built the swimming pool on it, and we went on to operate it. And it's essentially it carried out functions of, it allowed people to go for a swim, so it gave them a social use. It allowed people to go in and wash themselves in the showers because we had plenty of hot water and things like that. And it filled in a little gap that wasn't filled in before we got there. So when we went there now, it was very, very rough. Like you couldn't park cars or anything on the street in those days. It was quite rough. Now in saying that, the people were really nice, and you had an awful lot of big families living in the area. Quite a high intensity of related people living in the area as well, by marriage and one thing and another. But anyway, in saying that, it opened in 77 and it went on to serve the community for those reasons. So when the schools and all started to use it then, a different way of looking at the pool became then, because then we were helping the community to teach the children how to swim and things like that. Now we didn't provide the lessons as such in those days, although sometimes in a part-time capacity some of us did. So we became more and more locked into the community in them days. So virtually every school from Malden Street, Rutland Street, Holy Child Preschool, the schools in Sheriff Street, Lawrence O'Toole schools, O'Connell schools, even down as far as North Strand, even down to Fairview, North Strand Tech, Parnell Tech, who were a big user of it. It became Larkin Community College then. They all used the pool at certain times in the day. They all had bookings in the pool. So we had all of these people coming and going from the schools, then youth clubs, after school groups, and all sorts of people coming in. Oh, it was busy.
Small.
But in those days, a 25 metre by 9 metre swimming pool was quite a modern thing in those
25
times.
by 9. Yeah.
25 by 9, and it was built to quite a high standard. That building is quite a high standard now.
Yeah,
And
it's not bad, yeah.
the swimming pool plant and all in it was top quality for its time. It was really good, and it has shown that because it lasted. They're only replacing some of the plant now at the minute. So I mean, it was very good the way it was built at the time, and it was very well kept and all that sort of thing. So we were there and we were serving the community and all sorts of people coming and going. Then we started to open up for lunchtime sessions as well as the public sessions in the evening, and we different people using it and all that. So just one or two of the bad things that happened, we had numerous break-ins, and that's why there was all roof windows, skylights in the roof, letting in natural light. They all had to be removed because they would target the building through this.
And they were designed.
It was designed with those in it, and they were originally in it. Now there weren't a lot of them. There could have been a dozen skylights in it to let in natural light. They all had to be removed because people would break in through those. We had to change the entrance doors because the original entrance was called a long hall. That was being vandalised and one thing and another. And then the ultimate piece of vandalism on it was they burnt part of the roof on the lower side of the building, over the dressing rooms and all that. Now, in fairness, the council reinvested into the building. We rebuilt the building and opened it again, and it kept going for another good few years till I changed my role. I was the manager down there for a long time. Around that 83, 84, the roof was rebuilt, and the outside, the exterior walls were raised up by 7 or 8 feet to stop people climbing up onto the building, because they used to be able to climb up and damage the roof. So that's when that was done, about 15, 20 years ago. We had very little problems there after that with vandalism. Very, very few problems then. Yeah. But essentially then, I went to work there when it first opened, and I was a lifeguard, like an attendant lifeguard. We used to do all sorts of work. And then I applied for promotion, and I was the assistant manager for a while there. And then I was the manager there for a while. For a good while, for a long time I was the manager there. And that's, now that you say that, Sean McDermott Street, the old Ballymun pool, the old Rathmines pool, the old Ballyfermot pool, they were all identically designed. And the good thing about that was, where we got it right in the design there, it was replicated 4 or 5 times. Where we got it wrong though, it was also replicated 4 or 5 times. And the skylights is an example of that. We shouldn't have designed Sean McDermott Street with the skylights in it. Now it's easy to say that now, but at the time we should have known better at the time.
Probably better to do the big windows at the secured side.
Yeah, probably so, yeah. Like if you look at those buildings,
that's what
there's little or no natural light in them. Now it doesn't really matter to a swimming pool user that there's not a lot of natural light, and sometimes it can be better for the pool if there's not a natural light, but it'd be better for the staff working in it if there was a bit more natural light.
Okay. So what about the plant? Because I know now it's popular different plant like water exchange.
Yeah.
So you have here different.
Slightly different plant. Yeah, slightly different. I'll go back to what I say about the plant in Sean McDermott Street.
Yeah.
That was when that was built and installed. That was as good a pool plant as you could have. Filtration wise, heating wise, it was really good for its time. Sean McDermott Street. And essentially filtration plants haven't changed that much since them days, so the filtration plant here would be somewhat similar. What would be different now is the type of procedure about injecting chemicals. It's more automated in the new buildings than it was in them. So what they had to do with Sean McDermott Street was they had to retrofit these chemical plants. And that's what they're doing, by the way.
Yeah, what in relation to amount of space it's taken, like it's the old one is bigger, needs
plant-wise.
Yeah. Smaller.
No, it was quite compact, Sean McDermott Street. Now the plant room here in this building is absolutely huge. Huge it is. Whereas Sean McDermott Street, it's only like a quarter of the size of the plant room here. Wait till I see what would be better here. These buildings would be much better insulated, the newer buildings.
I saw the new material. Is it aluminium on the roof?
The cladding on the roof, yeah.
Because I saw somebody try to hit and there is just small impact, but it's still.
Yes, yeah. This building is cladding, and the building that we operate up in Finglas has a cladding roof now and cladding on the sides of it, and it's also on the inside where the cladding is now. There's cladding on the roof here. It also helps in keeping the sound down.
Yeah,
the sound,
acoustics.
The acoustics, that's the word for it. So that's very good. But Sean McDermott Street never really had a problem with acoustics because in the false seal.
Yeah, they are. They're already like acoustically designed.
Yes, it's actually quite good. But for heat retention, the building itself wouldn't be that good in Sean McDermott. In some of our buildings, we've underfloor heating now. There's no underfloor heating in Sean McDermott Street. That wasn't heard of at the time. There was always a draft in Sean McDermott Street because of the design of those old type pools. There was always a draft blowing through the building, an unwanted draft at that, and this positive air pressure helped that draft. It helped increase the draft. So you were heating the building and cooling it almost at the same time. On the efficiency side of things, something that I've got involved in here in these two buildings, we reuse some of the water that we dispose of from cleaning the filters and things like that. Now that needs to be looked at. The grey water element, as it's called quite commonly, like rainwater harvesting and the grey water. Now there could be major savings on that, and it'd be better for the environment anyway.
I did a great research. I'm looking for plans, and I have no plans in city council archives, architecture archives. Maybe if you're familiar with it, and they're all closed, I cannot access them.
Yeah.
So maybe just you give me some tips. So this is McDermott swimming pool. So it's entrance. Entrance is here.
Yes, that's it.
So the swimming pool itself, it's 9/25. It's up here.
That's right.
So there is a corridor, that green one, a corridor. It was closed, yeah?
Let me see.
And there was a balcony above.
There's a balcony above as well, yeah.
So the swimming pool. So the plant is supposed to be in here.
That's where the plant is. Original entrance here.
Okay.
And there was a hallway along here. But this became very vandalised here. So we changed the entrance around to here. So you walked into the hallway here.
There's reception.
The reception is here, say, somewhere here.
No, here.
It's somewhere there, say, right. And this here was a staff area as well here, where when you got changed, you handed in your belongings in a basket system in here for safekeeping. Both sides of the staff area, this was the ladies' changing and shower area, and this was the gents' changing and shower area. And there's a little special needs room down here. Still, it's all still there, sort of thing. And the entrance to the pool then was to here for the ladies and through here for the men, the gents. But it was a great building. It had great functionality in the building, and there was very little space went to waste.
So I think it's pretty well.
Yeah.
Much. I don't need actually anything. Thank you very much.